And hey, we are back here at PlayStation Experience. We are live in Anaheim, California. We just saw Sucker Punch Productions give a big update on Ghost of Tsushima, just the making of it, very interesting stuff. But we've got a lot more to come. And starting right now, we actually have a new game to announce. I've got John from Tripwire Interactive. We know you guys from Killing Floor 2.
That's right.
That's right. But I think we've got something new to talk about today.
We do.
That's
Killing
right.
Floor
So
Incursion.
let's roll that trailer.
You having memory problems? It's okay if you are. You did get knocked in the head pretty hard, and you are on a lot of drugs. What are you doing? That isn't weird at all.
Anger issues, that one.
Headshot! Rampage! Engine of destruction!
Stupid virus. Seriously, you need to get a grip.
All right, that's Killing Floor Incursion. It's coming to PlayStation VR, and we're going to learn all about it right now.
Yes.
John, Tripwire.
Yes.
You guys been busy.
Yeah. We have been busy. Killing Floor 2, Killing Floor Incursion.
And you guys have all this content constantly rolling out for Killing Floor 2. So, I mean, they're keeping you guys busy over there.
We are. We're doing a lot of things.
Now, Killing Floor Incursion, a couple things I want to clarify right off the bat. Is this just sort of a VR mode that you guys just kind of tossed in here? Or tell me about that.
Yeah, actually, Killing Floor Incursion is a game made entirely from the ground up for VR.
Okay.
It is in the Killing Floor world, and you'll see a lot of the same monsters, but it is made from the ground up to be a VR game. A lot of people, when they think about an established franchise, they say, why don't you just bring your existing game over to VR? But really, I don't think that's the right question to ask. The question to ask is, how can I make a game that harnesses the power of VR to provide a gamer experience that they can't have otherwise?
Yeah.
And that's really what we wanted to do with Incursion.
So when you say it's sort of natively developed for VR, for PlayStation VR, I mean, tell me a little bit about what you mean by that.
So it is a lot of things that you do in VR that we learned were really impactful were things like use of scale. You know, if you stand next to one of these monsters in a regular game, they're kind of scary. When you stand next to them in VR, they're really scary. So we did things like, okay, well, what if one of the monsters is 3 stories tall? Then that's really, really scary. Being able to do some very interesting things. I mean, dual wielding weapons is obviously very fun, but being able to, there's a really cool melee system in the game, and you can actually chop limbs off of the monsters.
Yeah, we saw that in the trailer. It was nice.
And people have been playing Killing Floor for a while now, and they know this monster called the Gorefast, and he's got this big blade, and he chases you swinging this blade. In Incursion, you can chop that blade off, pick that blade up, and start using it against the monsters. So you can find out what it's like to use the Gorefast blade.
I'm good. I'm sold.
Yeah, I loved Killing Floor 2, and definitely down with the idea of playing more of this in VR, and especially since, I mean, again, I think it's critical to note here, this isn't just sort of like, okay, now we've added VR support.
Right.
This is a game that is designed for VR, which I think brings in, just a lot more immersion. I mean, are we using, we talking about using PlayStation Move motion controllers on this, DualShock? Tell me about the control options.
Yeah, so the controls are dual move controllers, because the game is so based around using both hands. It's a very tactile game. I mean, aside from shooting monsters, one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to get people really into the game. So they're solving 3D puzzles with their hands, and they are picking things up, and you're manipulating things, and it's that sense of presence that you hear about in VR, and being able to do things with both hands really helps sell that.
Now, from a weapons and perks and all the things that kind of make Killing Floor 2 great, what are we going to see in Killing Floor Incursion?
Well, because it is a completely different type of game, with Killing Floor 2, it's very much get 6 of my friends, we'll fight through these waves of monsters till we fight a boss, This game it actually has a full story-based campaign.
Oh, really?
So rather than just throwing a lot of stuff in there, we really focused it down to a subset of really enjoyable weapons: assault rifles, shotguns, axes, swords, throwing knives, and then just made them really, really fun to use in VR.
That's awesome.
And then being able to tell a story in the Killing Floor universe was really, really exciting. One of the things we discovered early on was anything you do in VR, it feels so much more impactful.
Yeah.
So when we were able to tell a story in VR, it was just so very exciting.
That's cool.
If you can't tell.
Something that we
I'm
noticed
excited.
from Killing Floor 2 that seems to come over to Killing Floor Incursion is the gore and the crazy violence and blood. What can we expect to see in Killing Floor Incursion?
Good question.
In the gore aspect.
Key question.
Yeah, so, I mean, some of it is things that you can do that are just really silly, because I mentioned you can chop arms and body parts off. So people will start, our playtest, they'll start doing funny things. They'll pick up a hand, and they're giving each other high five with rigid, ragdoll hands. But you can actually do gameplay-oriented things. You can actually use those things that you chop off of the enemies to fight the enemies. You can, if you chop the head off of a monster, you can pick that head up and throw it at an enemy, stumble them. So it's, it gets, it's a little icky sometimes when you pick up an arm and it's dangling.
Can I do that with the leg? Can I
you can
chop
do that
off
with
the leg and just beat somebody? Okay.
Yes.
All good things.
Yeah. It's all about the immersion, being able to use every possible limb as an object. I mean, that's the true power of VR, I'd like to think. So tell me, obviously Killing Floor 2, sort of known for the sort of horde mode, the endless mode. So are we going to get sort of a reflection or a version of that here in Killing Floor Incursion?
Yeah, so we're very excited. We're bringing a new mode called Holdout that is an endless horde mode.
Cool.
With, you've got the story and you can play through that, and that's very interesting, but the horde mode, the Holdout mode, has got a leaderboard, and it's like, get some of your friends and see how long can we hold out. It's really different than even normal Killing Floor 2.
Okay.
It's this over-the-top arcade action with power-ups. My favorite is the Berserk power-up, where you can one-punch kill any monster.
Awesome.
And then you just start punching them.
You're going to be getting workouts.
You feel a bit like Sauron in Lord of the Rings, when he's using the Ring of Power to make bodies fly. Some exciting stuff.
That's good. So, obviously, I think this is Tripwire. Is this your first VR title that you guys have put together?
Yes.
So, what is that like, from a development perspective? Like, you guys have been making these fan-favorite shooters. I mean, they're a big hit. You guys are great with just releasing fresh content all the time. But what is it like kind of wrapping your head around that? Like, taking a beloved franchise and kind of making it work in VR?
There were a lot of challenges initially. Movement is a big thing that is a challenge. But for us, it was, our games are really well known for having really enjoyable gunplay. Yeah. Really enjoyable melee. And getting that into VR and doing all the research to find how you do that and have it feel good. That was a really big challenge.
When can we see more? When can we play more?
Can you play more? Early next year you can play more. Or see more and maybe play more.
Oh, yeah?
And one thing we wanted to share, too, that we're really excited about, there is an exclusive PSVR holdout map called the Crucible.
Awesome.
That is coming to the PSVR with Incursion.
Nice.
So very excited about that as well.
Always good to hear about the extra love for PlayStation folks, yeah? So, Killing Floor, obviously, Killing Floor Incursion here looking great, coming to PlayStation VR. But I know you guys are busy with these new content packs for all those Killing Floor 2 players. So, you guys working on anything new, or?
We absolutely are. We're very excited to announce that next Tuesday, the 12th, we're going to be rolling out our very first Christmas event for Killing Floor 2. It's called Krampus Christmas.
Nice.
So you're going to be fighting through Krampus's lair. You're going to have to defeat Krampus so he doesn't ruin Christmas. All of the monsters are replaced with fun holiday versions. You've got, instead of a guy shooting fireballs, you have a snowman throwing snowballs at you. You have, guys with chainsaws with antlers and, new weapons. It's some really cool stuff. We're excited to see what the PlayStation fans think when they get their hands on it.
That's awesome. This Krampus thing, this is kind of like a newer thing. I feel like it's been the last few years. So, I don't know, for the unenlightened among us, what is Krampus? Like, I see it out there.
So, there's a lot of mythology around it. He's kind of like, Santa Claus's evil brother or something like that, and he's always been sort of, you know, kept in the shadows and kept, you know, he doesn't really have a big role. And then well, this year in Krampus Christmas, he's like, forget that, I'm taking over.
Yeah.
You know, Santa's lair, forget that, I've got Krampus's lair, and yeah, but he's not quite as nice as Santa.
Yeah, I got the
unfortunately.
sense. I got the sense, you know?
Main thing's not as nice.
And he is going to be an all-new boss that you fight in Killing Floor 2.
Very
New
cool.
update.
Well, look, really appreciate you dropping by. Killing Floor Incursion, brand new game we just announced here live at PlayStation Experience. And we've got new content on the way for all you Killing Floor 2 players as well.
Yes.
John, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sid.
PlayStation